Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Maggot Spawn, Indiana Scones, Dakin, Jojo, Panda, Chad, Zerker, Xenomorph Queen, Chad Zerker's in full Red Dead mode. Right on. Dude. We have two special things tonight. Two of them. One of them is a special gift from the lovely Indiana Scones and Xenomorph that we will be checking out later. And the other is a lovely person from across the pond. And we're going to talk shit about everything and make fun of everything. The song is weird. What's with this song? And I'm making him wait. Stephen Merchant, not Stephen Merchant. Is everything working? Everything is working for me. Okay. I hear. Because I have you. Now he can't hear me. Because I had you muted, John. Where do we at? Where's this? No, this. Wait, why is it not working? I had it. This. I had. Oh! Oh, wait, do I have to have it up? There. Oh, okay. There it is. There it is. We've done it. I know, you kind of have to see a person. Like, it's weird to have a conversation without seeing a person. Yes. How are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. How's everything going? How's your life? I saw it was like 30. Is that a lot? Okay.
I don't know what temperature it is. What have we got? We've got to check, got to do it. Everyone's 30. It's still 30 degrees, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
30 degrees at 1 o'clock. And 30 is like 90-something in American, I think.
Right.
32 would be 100, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. Whoops. Sorry, my phone's going off. I have my mother's text message set to the Stewie thing from family. That way I know.
So is 100 a lot in Oklahoma? I don't know.
It will get... We had about 4 years ago... No, like 6 years ago, we had an average... I think it was like a 45-day average of 120 degrees.
That's bad. Yeah. We don't get that high. Yeah. We got the kind of... It's got higher than this. Isn't 30? It got to 37 or something the other year. That was the best ever. I don't know. World England record.
I think we have one person in chat from the UK right now that he was saying that 30 is very hot.
Do that. I should do that on my phone. Yeah. I should do because it's easier because I can't see chat and me and because I'll just go on the Twitch app. It's already turned down because I'm a fucking professional.
You need multiple monitors. We need to work on you getting. I use 3. And
use 3 monitors.
I use 3 monitors and 2
play
computers. Games,
but I don't play games. I have no idea. Fucking as if I have fucking time for games. I'm just gonna swear loads.
Yeah, that's fine.
I did a podcast a while ago, and it was their most downloaded podcast in Russia, and we can only assume. I said fuck. I don't know. about 160 times. So I think that there was just loads of Russians trying to work out how exactly to say fuck.
They're practicing. They're like, fuck. No, no. Fuck.
Fuck. And then motherfucker.
I heard
That's what I imagined the whole thing was.
my new favorite thing that I heard I forgot where the video was. It might have been in something from your guys' stuff, but it was Muggle fucker.
Muggle fucker, I have not heard.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. It was something about like worst insults for wizards or something, like Harry Potter insults.
Yeah, but how the fuck? That's not a real thing. I know this is going to get turned into more of stuff like this, where we just argue about what's a real thing. That's not a thing. Definitely not a thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great... If you ever meet a wizard, that's all right, and that's still going to happen.
Just in case. Just in case you meet a wizard.
Yeah. What are you going to do if there's a ghost? I think I'm fucking safe. 39, haven't seen one yet. I'm gonna say tonight's not the fucking night. I'm ready.
I'm ready for the ghosts. So let me ask you one of the first questions, just because I do play games. Have you at any point in the past in your childhood played video games?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And what did you enjoy?
I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
When all of them when they came out. So beginning with 3, and like I had played the originals on the PlayStation and stuff, but then PS2 and Grand Theft Auto 3 and what was the 80s?
Disco Liberty City?
No,
Vice
City.
Vice City, yeah.
And then San Andreas, and then 5, whatever it was. I don't know. Yeah, I think I kind of gave up at that. Actually, that's probably about the last game I bought, which is for PS3.
Okay, so you've got. So do you have a PlayStation 3 then?
Yes.
Okay, and that's as far as you went with current level gaming.
Yeah. And I used to play like warfare games with a friend of mine on, live, whatever. But he always took it seriously. I'm the guy at bowling who doesn't fuck. If I will bowl, I've got to enjoy it, have a nice time, chat and stuff, and I will bowl. No one in the fucking room is going to be in a league. Quick one. It's never going to fucking happen. You don't need to take it that fucking seriously. Calm the fuck down. And if you do start taking it seriously, I'll be even more of a twat, just because it's so fucking irritating. And I'm like that with computer games. So it'd just be Kim constantly going, cover, for fuck, don't go. And I'd be like, I'll never have to get shot. And then him and me going, medic.
Right. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, I don't understand people take things like that seriously. It's like, when you go and see a band at a pub or a bar, I want to see a bar band, They're doing their best. I don't want to see some dick who thinks he's going to be in the charts next week. You're not, mate. You're 42. You work in software. It's never going to fucking happen. Forget it.
Right.
Just do a really good fucking job at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Just do your best and have a beer. Have your free beer and then go home and...
Well, there's a guy from EMI in the audience. Kevin, there isn't. Done.
There's never a guy. There's never
never a fucking guy.
There's no agent scouting you.
Yeah, just fucking do it.
LA did not fly over.
That's exactly the same. I do that with everything. I've done a little bit of stand-up in the past, and when you watch somebody who really think there's nothing worse than somebody who doesn't they've gone sales through their whole life and no one's ever gone, Pete, you're not funny, mate. You are not fucking funny. And then Pete just does his best, and then he just bemused. What the fuck? There is no one in this room with a sense of humour. Yeah, okay, Pete. It's probably you, mate.
Somebody's got to tell these people that, though.
Yeah. I like to be the person.
You're right. You got to be that guy.
I've told a few people, stop fucking singing. You can't fucking sing. My nan says I can. She's just being nice. You can't. Shut the fuck up.
Which is similar to you telling me that Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist.
I don't know if that's true. But what a wonderful place to look for a monster, though. Who cares?
Right.
That doesn't matter. Even if you kind of you having been to the UK and you stayed in our old house, and you're in Scotland, you asked me a couple of questions about stuff like that, and I'm jokingly, but like you were in Inverness, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I stayed on the edge of Loch Ness.
It's so pretty. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Look for a fucking monster. Do what you want. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just every picture of Nessie that's ever been taken is not that.
Right.
They've all been explained. They're all quite boring. Some of them are ingenious, and some of them are just really interesting.
Yeah.
The one of an elephant, I think, is really interesting.
And even in the museum, it was really cool. Like, it was funny because even the official museum there was like kind of saying, "There's nothing here." Like, all these people kind of, which was kind of disheartening. Like, I wanted everybody there to be like, "Oh yeah," like I wanted everybody to tell me that it was real, just to have that sensation of like every person around me, but all of them are like.
But I think that's something quite nice about. I don't know. I quite like the honesty of that. I think that's fine, and it's great. And if you're sat on a pier, and it's 11 o'clock, I remember being about 9 or 10 years old on Loch Ness. We had a boat for about 8 days on Loch Ness, and my dad and his family went to a pub, and then we all came back to the boat. It must have been about 11 o'clock or something like that, and there was probably 2 seals, 20 feet from the shore. But just for a second, it's bollocks. But but that's great. And as I say, Scotland is incredible.
Yeah.
If you go, when you went, it's fantastic. August is great. It's a bit midgy sometimes. You get a lot of midgies there. But August, September is where you want to be, not July. Not June, July.
Yeah, and I've started seeing a lot of my memories keep popping up for photos and stuff. So it was around this time.
Last weekend would have been that one.
Yeah, so it sucks because I don't think we're ever going to get to leave this country again, or I don't think anybody's ever going to allow us into their country. I think maybe that's probably the more proper point.
Such a weird thing. Do you know as one of my reasonable American friends, this is where I've lost a lot of American friends through COVID, just because my wife works in healthcare, and you know it. But just the amount of shit. Like the other day, somebody said, "I mean, we're so surprised." And I was like, "What? How?" The fucking model said you're exactly where you would be if you did fuck all.
Right.
And you're currently doing fuck all. This is gonna happen.
Yeah. It's very, very weird. Like I've avoided everywhere. I've stayed home. I go out very, very little. But yeah, I haven't really had a lot of exposure to anyone that's been affected. There's been a couple here and there, but yeah, it's a very interesting thing. But like that's the biggest thing. I mean, it's a very selfish thing, but it's one of those things. Now I look at it, I'm like, I can't go anywhere. Like I can't go see my friends. I can't. I could travel, but it's dangerous as shit. Or potentially, and I
do like the fact that Trump banned international flights, but he didn't ban the most dangerous flights, which are clearly domestic flights.
Right.
like he's going, mind out for this shithole. It's like you live in this shithole.
Yeah, I mean I guess at least we're trapping it here, but yeah, it's interesting seeing some of the other countries where, like, there's a buddy that pops in chat from New Zealand. He's from South Africa, lives in New Zealand, and he was like, "Yeah, we've wiped it out because you just stop everything." But I'm like,
check the population though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little small.
They've got a lower population than the UK in New Zealand,
right?
It is, and there's a lot they're very well spaced out.
Yeah.
So and that's definitely no reflection. They've currently probably got the greatest leader of a country in the world right now. She is
in New
fucking
Zealand.
incredible. Yeah, she's amazing. Female prime minister, off the chart because she's a human.
Right.
We don't have anywhere else. She's a human who's had a normal life, and she's got kids, and she's not a dickhead. It's quite incredible. When you're going, oh, what? I didn't know you could do that. We've got one that fucks animals. Oh, no. And you've got like a gibbon that someone shaved mostly.
Limpar is here. Limpar says this is Mario. Do you know Mario?
Right. Yes. Mario.
Welcome and
Yeah,
hello.
yes, I do. Yes, I do. Had drinks with him. That's the Mario? I think it is. Yeah. London man.
London man. Welcome. It's good to have you.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Mario. What are we talking about? Yeah. So they've got COVID is a fucking walking nightmare. I don't even think you're a third of the way through in the US.
Right.
Sorry. I think you get well. Because it's just bounces. If you look at Germany and France and everybody, their rates are jumping up. In the UK, we had the news the other day. They said it's likely to be a second wave at Christmas. I just thought, did it tell you? How the fuck do you know that? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it's
critical thinking is dead in the world. People don't even know what it means.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's very I've found a lot of time based on that. Like, it's funny though, because I find having more time at home means I have less time. Like, I don't know if that's just me, but it seems like now that we have so much free time, I have so little time.
Yeah, I think it compresses. I do think that's true. I think it does.
Yeah. But you've done a lot of like home renovation and all kinds. You've been busy as shit, like doing everything.
But it's just because there's nothing to do, is there? So the things I like doing is going out for a drink or going out to eat or something, and there's nothing to do. So little things like the ceiling in here didn't exist.
Yeah.
And then my wife said we should start doing it, and I started doing it with her, and I got about 5 panels in, and I went, "You go inside, put your feet up." And she went, "Is it quite annoying?" And I went, "Yes, fuck off." And then I did it in 2 days.
Nice.
Over, 2 different days separately. Yeah. Because it just was irritating. Everybody knows that in a relationship, flat packs and doing stuff together.
Right.
You just go, hold this.
Yeah.
Not like that. And it's just constant. Can you put that over there? That's not there. Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier just to do things alone, I think.
Yeah, it's fine. I fucking hate painting, so she's painting the kitchen and the stairs and stuff at the moment. So I've got to do some plastering tomorrow.
Nice.
So that'd be fun. You don't have real houses, do you? They're all made of fucking wood and Meccano and stuff and Lego, but we have real houses, and there's a pain in the arse.
Yeah, it's mostly all this is wood. Everything's
of course
all wood.
It fucking is. Every time there's a hurricane, people go, "Have you seen how many houses fell over?" Of course they fucking did. They're made of shed. They're gonna do that.
And that's the thing too. Like, it's funny because even in Oklahoma, being Tornado Alley, that we don't have. It's not like mandatory to have like storm shelters. They don't build like basements or cellars or anything. You can get them. Some houses have them, but for the most part, it's a lot of you have to buy one and get one dug out. And even having history of having bad storms, it's not just like every house comes with a shelter. But we don't act too surprised. I mean, sometimes the news kind of makes it out like it's surprising, but it's like, really?
But
like,
we do the same thing. Every year, the winter is shit, and everybody goes, and it says killer winter on the way, and you go, same as last year. Then. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter. It's only about timing. Once the roads freeze, it snows, then freezes again, you're fucked. That's it. That's it. Everybody for themselves get fucked. You made a joke. There was quite a funny thing at the start. You said it hasn't really affected you. We kind of had a bit of this was a really dark joke,
right?
That me and my wife did when everybody was like pinning down. Lots of my friends are obviously really concerned about family and stuff, and they were telling me stories of things. Oh my grandma's got this, and my granddad's got that, and my great uncle, he's got like a breathing difficulties, or somebody's got this, someone's got this, long-term health problems. And I walked up to my wife and I went, all our grandparents are fucking dead. We did a bit of a fist bump. It's fuck it, there's nothing. They're all fucking dead. It's not going to kill them again.
It's true.
What are we doing? We're digging up now. Why? Just do it again for a laugh. They were already gone. So in that case, if you call yourself, it wasn't luck, but just there was no chasing around. My dad's 73.
Right.
He works full time still. He's a code. He writes code, and he likes doing it. My mum is late 60s. She's fine, and oddly, in the last probably 7 or 8 years, they've started listening when I talk to them and say, "Listen, don't do that."
Right.
They want to, like, if they're going to buy a house, they might say, "Do you think this is a good price?" Or do you think, actually asking advice. So they're not. It's not just them telling, being your parents. It's actually having an adult conversation.
Yeah.
So that's been quite good.
It's that is a very weird transition, because I've kind of had to do that with my parents, to be like, look, you just need to stay home. Like, stop going places. You're retired. You don't have anything to do. Just stay home. Quit going out. Yeah. Just stay home. Play with the dogs. Like, make dinner. Like, they live on 40 acres. They have plenty to do. Yeah. And like, my dad wants to buy a four-wheeler. He had a four-wheeler, but he sold the four-wheeler to buy one of the ones with the cages around it, Mad Max cages.
Dune buggy kind of thing.
I'm not really sure why, but that's what he wants.
That's the kind of conversation you get stuck. I remember my dad rang me from a Harley Davidson dealership once, and he said, "Quick one," and I went, "Yeah," and he went, "I'm in a Harley Davidson." I would get the fuck out. And he went, "Yeah, that was what I got to. I was like gonna wander over," and I went, "Yeah, leave. You don't fucking need one." They've got a reverse gear. No one needs that.
Right.
Motorbike. It's the stupidest piece of shit in the world. Don't buy that bike. And he's at that stage. How old are your parents?
They're close to that. Yeah, like 70. Yeah, pushing 70.
There's that bit where your parents, like my dad, when I was a kid, my dad was this really confident driver, and was like, when he was going on the longest trips, it's going to be fine. Dad's driving. And then there's a moment when they're in their mid-60s, and you go, fucking hell.
Yeah, where you're kind of like...
Brakes too late.
Yeah, it goes from like you're calm and like not paying attention to now you're like, what do you do? Slow down.
Do that.
Slow down.
I indicate for my dad. I got on the back. My dad had a motorbike a few years ago, and he said, I'd got a motorbike, and he said, "Do you want to..." I can't remember why, but I was leaving my bike at work, and he said, "Jump on the back of mine." And I sort of went, okay. I hadn't been on the back of my dad's bike in, 20 years. And I got on the back of his bike. Fucking insane. Braking way too late. I was actually tapping on the back of his crash helmet like that. At one point I said, pull over. He pulled over. I said, stop fucking doing that. He said, what? I said, you're braking way too late. No one knows what the fuck you're doing. It's insane. You can't do that. Am I? Yeah, please. You're going to kill us. Stop. Yeah, and it's weird. There's that transition where my mum could never drive, so she didn't lose anything. It didn't matter.
Right.
She doesn't go over 60 miles an hour ever, which is lethal. And she goes around car parks at 20 miles an hour, which is the opposite, which is insane.
Yeah, it is very weird. Like, I don't, and it's one of those. It's like a mystical moment of like, when did that happen? Like, what exact point did it? It's like the magic of like daytime to nighttime. When it's like, where does it happen? Because it's daytime, it's daytime, and it's nighttime. Like, there's no, and it's like, what point did I become the adult and not the child anymore?
I think it's the first time you have probably a proper argument with your parents where they're not, where it's not them telling you off, or you do the, oh, fuck off. That.
Right.
Like, you just go, yeah, oh, shut the fuck up. And then they go, what?
And you're like,
that
I'm an
35-year-old
adult
man
now.
tell you to fuck off? Yeah, he really did. Seriously, shut the fuck up. My dad gave me some advice a while ago, and I was in a new flat, a new apartment where we lived, and I said, he was telling me something about, I don't know, something financial or something. And I said, yeah, fine, buddy. Just keep going. Oh, fine. I said, anyway, can I just show you this thing with a door? And he said, what's the matter with the door? I said, well, I don't know. You know more about doors than me. Go to the other side of the door. So I opened the front door. He walked out of my apartment door. I said, look at the handle. And he looked at the handle, and I shut it in his face. And then I went back to the sofa. And he rang me 5 minutes later. So, what was that about? I told you to shut the fuck up. I told you to shut the fuck up 5 times. You didn't do it. It's my apartment. Seriously, shut the fuck up. Just a confused old man outside
Right.
the bar. What?
So, so have you, aside from all that, with all of with being stuck everywhere, have you been absorbing tons of media content, music, movies,
Yeah, I
TV?
do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Is there anything new that's caught your attention? I ask you that, and then I'm going to answer. I was turned on to Toast of London.
Oh, Matt Berry. I've
Yeah.
got a weird thing about that. I met Matt Berry.
Really? He's like
In a bar.
he's not my new favorite, but he's back in. He's back in because has
Because
an
that's the
amazing
problem.
voice.
But I've got the issue. My friend that runs a bar in Soho, and he said, we've been there a couple of times. It's quite exclusive, but it's really, really nice. We went there once, and we had a great time. So we went there back, and Matt Berry was there. He's a fucking annoying twat.
Really?
Like, he's just a dickhead. Yeah. You could just see everybody just cringing.
I could see
sing
that.
songs and stuff, but he really is fucking annoying.
He's
Like,
yeah.
and I just can't get it out of my head. Like, I can watch the It crowd. He's fantastic in that. He really is. But he is a tosser. And his music, he reckons if you're ever bored, go and find his music on YouTube. It's shit. Like,
Does he do like real music, like legit?
Yeah, he kind of. I mean, look at it. Just
Legit.
watch it. It's shit. Yeah. And we tried to watch, this is probably the most current thing, The Umbrella Academy, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the children.
Yeah, I was bored shitless, like 10 minutes in.
Huh.
I just think I really like something when the writing's clever, but that's just shit. I just didn't get it at all. I was watching it, I fell asleep after half an hour. As soon as they start reeling off special powers.
Oh, so Jojo Panda wants you to explain Tosser.
Tosser. What do you call that? You call it
It's kind
jacking
of,
off.
Yeah, it's kind of a jack off.
Yeah, jack off, yeah. So that would be a tosser, or wanker is the other thing we say for that.
I figure it's easier for just to ask you instead of me explaining it in the American way.
Yeah. Don't worry, there'll be lots of profanities. You can ask lots of questions.
This is
I'm just trying to...
Yeah, I was gonna say this is meant to, we're gonna expose we're trying to cross culture and bring people together. This is my Twitch goal, is to have these conversations and bridge gaps.
We watched the thing. We kind of shot through it. There's this thing that we watched today and yesterday. We just kind of blitzed through it, called Somewhere Between.
Somewhere Between. I think I've heard of that, but I haven't watched.
It's on Netflix in the UK at the moment.
Okay. It sounds vaguely familiar.
It's about two people who... it's about a woman whose daughter's kidnapped and she dies, and then the lady whose daughter dies, but she's kind of born again in the 8 days in the past, and she has to try and stop it.
Okay.
But the acting is appalling, right? And the casting's is so bad. It's really quite... There's been the moments where it's really funny. They're like, all the time, just me looking at my wife going, "Get the fuck on with it! Find the little twat." The kid in it is obviously related to someone who was doing the casting, and they went,
"Oh my God, Samantha, you got to bring in that little asshole kid you've got with the fucking face. We'll give her a job."
I've gotten that lately with there's so many shows that it seems that it is like, I don't know if it's that I'm becoming more of a movie snob, where I'm just like, let's just wrap it up. Like, you haven't pulled us, but it's like, I don't want to give up on it, but it's like, you're not bringing this home fast enough. No. You're drawing this out way too long.
This was this. They kept trying to find this fucking kid, and then they would just be stop, and they'd be trying to search for another clue, and you're like, listen, stuff the clue in your pocket, get in the fucking car, and go get that little fucking kid. Now, get the kid. I don't care.
Right.
And there was this cove that this kid had drowned in, and they kept going on about it. I'm like, she's probably a Black Pork Cove. Get the fuck there, then. Get a tent. Just live there.
Indiana Scones wants to know if you've ever watched Peep Show.
I adore Peep Show. Oh, this is look. I've got a Peep Show T-shirt on.
Super Hans Men with Ven.
Men with Ven. It's a line from. They are men with Ven. They are man. It's a man with a van, or men with Ven.
So Ven is the plural for van.
No, it's a joke. It's just a stupid thing. Every T-shirt I ever wear is a really niche reference to something that I like.
I still like the what was it, the intergender
it's a moving company. Yeah, I do like it.
Intergender bender. What was it? Gender bender intergalactic. What was the Andy Kaufman shirt? The wrestling shirt. Like the Gender Bender Championship or something.
No,
what does it say?
It's a copy of his T-shirt, and it says Women's World Wrestling Champion of the World or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's bright yellow. I love that T-shirt.
Yeah.
And every time I wear it, I'll be in a supermarket. And because I wear silly T-shirts all the time, I forget what I'm wearing. And I'll just get a really shitty look like from somebody. Be doing something, and then they go, mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Don't worry about it.
Right.
But it really doesn't. People getting offended by T-shirts. I've got one that says from Stand By Me, and it says "Chopper Sick Balls" on it, and there's a picture of a dog.
Right.
First, that's a Stand By Me reference. But every time we were trying to buy a new sofa a little while ago, and we walked into the place, and my wife went, "Okay, so yeah, we go. Oh my fucking god, why are you wearing that T-shirt?" And I went, "What? Oh, fuck it. I don't care.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, shut up. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I've got one that says #fuck James across the back. James, my mate James got fuck John on the back of his, and mine says fuck James. And I completely forget always that it's fuck James on the back.
Do you get a lot of, well, oh my, oh dear.
People don't really tend to do that to me, because I generally will say that many times. I love swearing in churches. It's like a hobby. I just don't care. There's no threat. I don't believe in this, so I don't give a shit. Like I just drop it. I'll whisper. I do it in hushed tones.
Right.
Like they were passing a collection plate round at a wedding I was at a little while ago, and the vicar said, she was a female, and she said, she was a lady, sorry, she said, a lot of people don't realise that this church actually costs £2,000 a week to run. And I turned to one of the bridesmaids and I went, you know what they should do? And she went, sorry? And I went, fucking move. Get a caravan. Who cares?
Right. D-Pain, I don't know if I know who a D-Pain is, was asking about best ever Netflix series that they need a new show to watch. Have you caught anything?
Really, really, really difficult shit. Well...
Did you watch Tiger King?
No, I have a real issue with keeping animals in cages.
Oh, that's right.
Really
we talked about that.
Yeah. Lots of people tried to convince me. We couldn't. Like we kind of watched about 10 minutes. There's a thing in some US states. I know it's not everywhere. California, I think, is one of the states. People keep these exotic animals, but as a sort of faux conservation thing. It's not conservation.
Right.
It's just being a shithead.
Right.
That tiger wouldn't exist without you. It's not conservation. It's the opposite. You're just a prick. I don't understand why. If that's conservation, then so is chicken farming. It just makes no sense to me.
Right.
You're literally a prick. So yeah, no, I didn't watch that. I'm just trying to find other shit. Comedy-wise, don't know why I went comedy-wise. We always got something on the go. I really like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think is brilliantly written. I know that doesn't really help anybody.
I kind of enjoyed that show. It's not bad. It's interesting. It keeps my attention.
I'm just trying to. The thing is, every time you finish something on Netflix, it disappears from your my list, doesn't it? So,
right.
Like, I don't fucking know. There's been a bit of a thing with having really good. Oh, I know we watched. What was the thing about the? What was the thing with Al Pacino with the?
Oh, that they were hunting Nazis or something?
Yeah. What was that called? Hunters or something?
I think it was just called Hunters, something like that.
I quite enjoyed that.
I haven't watched that one yet.
You need to get over Al Pacino's accent.
Right.
You have to just get over the fact he is not a New York Jewish person.
I saw it in the preview. It's kind of like, why are they trying to have him do any other voice other than just his voice? It's not.
It's a weird thing to do, and it's a weird. Is it brave to cast someone who's not Jewish in that role? I think stupid is probably the word.
Right.
You're after.
I feel like they had plenty of options to
They
pick.
had plenty of Jewish people. The rest of the cast.
Right.
The lady who plays in my head, she played. She was in Taxi, and she played Andy Kaufman's girlfriend in Taxi, and she was also in Scrooged, and she plays the fairy of the Ghost of Christmas Present, I think, or Future. I can't remember. Jewish and fantastic, like brilliantly, like really played it well. There's some great.
Is that the lady with the weird voice?
Yes.
Carol Kane. Carol Kane?
She was in the
was she in
girl who lives.
She in Princess Bride?
Oh,
was she in License to Drive? Was she the mother in License to Drive?
God, this is bad, isn't it? She was in that. What's that? Amy. No, who's the girl?
The girl that got kidnapped, or the girl that lived in the bunker and that got released.
Yeah, that one. She's in that. She's the landlady in that.
Yeah.
As well.
I think that's Carol Kane. I think that's.
It is Carol Kane. Yes, you're quite right. And it was the Ghost of Christmas Present. I was quite right. She is in the Princess Bride. She's Valerie. She's the granny at Addams Family Values, which I didn't know. She's in Annie Hall. She's been in loads of stuff. But yeah, very famously Jewish.
Yeah.
Which was, and then they went, get Al Pacino. What the fuck? There's quite a lot of elderly Jewish gentlemen who are actors. I think there's quite a good pick.
Yeah, I guess they needed the angst and the violent temper of Pacino.
Pacino. He does it. He does it well. I mean, for a bad cast, he still does well. I don't know what people think of that. Shit. It's really difficult. It seems you're put on the spot trying to think.
I know. Like, I'm always... People ask about, like, what horror movies should I watch? And I'm like, The Exorcist? I don't have anything new. Like, I'll, like, go... Somebody... They're asking the TV show called The Alienist or Doom Patrol.
I've seen the Alienist advertised in Reddit. I'm really not into superpowery stuff.
Yeah, I haven't... I've looked at it, but I haven't seen exactly what
I've definitely read
is.
the synopsis. But I haven't seen it now.
Yeah.
I think there's something else. Yeah, I'm done the same. I did like a horror from the age of, I don't know, 15, 16 to like 24, 25. Probably watched everything. Like I can, there's things my wife won't watch. Like she watched the first Saw.
Yeah.
And if you can time this perfectly, it's beautiful. If you're ever with somebody and the power goes out and you time it perfectly, just so it goes and it goes back, and then you just go, let the games begin. Right? It's amazing. Like their blood runs cold immediately. It's impossible to live through. I've done that a couple of times today. It's not fun. No, but I just sat and she watched the first one. I quite enjoyed it, but it was a bit much. But I just sat and then did the whole lot, and did the same with what's the one with the plane that crashes and they all kind of trying to escape fate.
Lost? The TV show Lost?
No.
Movie?
No, not a movie. And there's lots of them. They're on a plane. The first scene is basically they're on the plane and the guy, they fall asleep. They're going on a school trip and the plane crashes.
Final Destination.
Yes. I just sat and watched all the Final Destinations.
Those are fun movies. They're not, they're not like mind-bending genius.
I think I was working at the same time and watching them. It's like no problem.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, it's a kind of an enjoyable, it's just fun to watch. Have you seen Midsummer?
Rings a bell.
It's a new-ish movie. It's, oh shit. It's one of the
Midsummer or Midsommer?
Midsummer.
Right.
It's one of the Danish areas. I'm going to insult people.
Oh, yeah.
Swedish area.
Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, where they go and visit this retreat, like a relative or friend or something lives in a cult,
cool.
Quote unquote.
Is it subtitled or is it in?
You know what? I don't remember. I think it was. I think it's in English. I think it's in English. That's surprising.
Everybody steals stuff from everywhere now. So if you can go and steal this, I have got a great tip for you, which is there was I think it was Swedish or Swiss series called The Bridge, but they redid it in the UK for Sky Atlantic and called it The Tunnel instead. And it's half British, so it's there's a French detective and a British detective, and they work together. And there's 3 seasons, and it is stunning. It's so well done.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a sort of thriller. Yeah, it's not a sort of thriller. It is a thriller. But they so for the first season they follow the same storyline as The Bridge, and for the second season they just go wild, and then the third season same again. They just make it up. And The Bridge. The Tunnel, sorry, it's absolutely great. Yeah, see, yeah. DePayne says The Tunnel was a great show. It was great.
I have to look into that one then.
It finished, and it's one of those things where I don't want to say a word because it's so ridden with spoilers that anything I say will fuck it up. But we've run it through maybe 2 or 3 times.
Huh. Okay, I have to check that one out. I feel like we haven't given anybody any good suggestions on anything. Just watch all of them. Watch all the shows. Watch all the movies.
All the shows. I literally, but everything that's on my list is gone. So I have everything. So I don't know what you use. I use Netflix, Prime, and my ingenuity.
Right.
Watch whatever the fuck I like. Oh, Black Mirror. Have you not?
Yeah.
They're all the seasons are on there. Have
So
you seen all the Black Mirror seasons?
I think we have them. I'm not sure we got all of them. Now, you've told me the story, and hopefully you don't get deported for bringing this up. What was the story? And I think you told me about this. The Black Mirror episode about them blackmailing the guy and the pig.
The
right?
big fucking.
That was based on a real thing, right?
Kind of. It didn't. It definitely didn't happen. It didn't. It doesn't matter. You can say it. It's not libelous because you can say I heard it happened and it's not libelous, so it doesn't make any difference.
Right.
It isn't. So I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to just get the right name for the club it came from. The whole thing was about Cameron. What was his name? David Cameron. So. He is a public school boy. He went to Eton, and then I think he went to Cambridge. David Cameron, ex-Prime Minister. This was the rumour about with the pig fucking. And they were the Bullingdon Club. Sorry, so he was at Oxford. It was called. Is a private all-male dining club at the Oxford University student. And they're sort of famous for being shitheads. So true stories about the Bullingdon Club are that they've certainly offered homeless people money and then set it on fire. Offer them 50 quid and then lit it and then thrown it away. So that's kind of what they're famous for. Somebody else in the Bullingdon Club sold the story to the press that at one banquet, David Cameron already fucked a pig, like as part of some initiation process. The reason it didn't happen, and definitely didn't happen, is because it came out 20 or 30 years later, and the lie is too big because there would have been 20 or 30 people in that room.
Right.
Then nobody would have kept it a secret. They just wouldn't. There's too much money in that.
Yeah.
But it's like somebody said, your reason it's not true is because someone definitely would have said it. I think Boris was in the Bullingdon Club as well. I think, as far as I know, he's a fuck. Yeah, he probably has fucked a pig. No one would care. I'd happily say he fucked a pig.
Yeah, I think I'd mentioned it to you the other day. Like I felt like I wanted to learn about other politics across the world just so I can talk about them to Americans, for them to be like, what are you talking about? I'd be like, can you believe what Boris did? Can you believe that shit that Boris said? And just have it be like, what are you talking about?
Oh, right, just drop it in. Just
throw it in conversation.
I mean, what's he talking about? If the exchange rate goes up, we're never going to be able to buy more tea. Yeah, that's right. What?
Just to be like,
but I try and do that with Americans. I get really mad because I speak to you know Jay, don't you?
Jay, which Jay?
Biggles.
Yeah, Jay Big, yeah.
Yeah.
We have very differing opinions on a lot of things, but yeah.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
We had a gun chat yesterday. He said, I was talking to Jay, and I was being a tosser, and I said, we just don't get it, okay? Pew, pew, pew. Looks great. I said, what are they for? Because they don't keep crime down. Like, your crime figures are shit.
Right.
Like, your burglary figures are higher than ours. They don't even keep down burglaries.
Right.
It's madness. So I said, statistically, they don't do that. They don't. Statistically, your muggings are higher per capita than ours. We don't shoot people. Statistically speaking, you're more likely to get shot if there's guns. I said, so what are they for? And a very honest American said, we like shooting stuff. And I went, yeah. Like he was playing along with me. And I said, yeah, exactly. Well, Jay said, at this point, it's like, what can you do? Because I've got to have a gun because they've got a gun. And he said, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's like a virus. And my next comment was, in a lot of ways, it fucking isn't. Because one of them is a choice. That's really mad. Oh, fucking hell. We've got a Ferrari virus. Look, Kevin's got one. Gene's got one.
Ferrari's killing people.
Yeah. It's the weirdest thing to go. I don't care what the reasoning is, but don't say it's unstoppable. Stop then.
Right.
If you don't want to, stop.
So Networker said Boris rugby tackled a child on TV.
He did do that. Yeah, it was like a press call, and he's a fat fucking idiot, and he didn't realise he weighs 20 stone more than an 8-year-old. Like, that's everybody, isn't it? When my mate had bought a trampoline a few years ago, and his kid was on it, jumping up and down. She was about 8 at the time, and he said, "Oh, go and have a jump on the trampoline." And I said, no, physics says it's a really stupid idea. No, I'm not going to do that because you just knee her in the face. And he said, you won't. Oh, he kicked his shoes off and he jumped and jumped and jumped, and then he kneed her right in the chin.
God.
Because you will. You bounce towards each other. The person who weighs the most makes the other person bounce towards. And he clean uppercut her.
God.
She must have weighed like 6 stone wet.
Yeah.
And he was 18 stone and hit her right square in the chin.
Oh, Jesus.
Just after we checked she was okay, I went, see?
Right. You had to balance out the weight on the trampoline for sure.
So Boris was just getting overexcited because he was trying to prove he was fit and fat, which he is. He's definitely one of them. And he rugby tackled an 8-year-old.
Rugby tackle. We had a rugby conversation the other night. Whereas one of our Australian friends, we were talking about that, about how rugby reminds me of like the kind of person that is like just an average guy that you'd never want to get in a fight with, because they can just apparently take a beating and don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's the guy.
I would be more afraid of a rugby player than I'd be afraid of both of them, but you take like a 400-pound American linebacker in football versus like a 180-pound rugby player, and I would probably be more afraid of the rugby player.
I would, because I reckon if you took him out, if you took him out with one punch and then strolled off, like he was clean out. Yeah. By the time you got back inside, he'd be back there with a beer. All right, mate, and just do it again. Like, it's completely pointless. Yeah. There's a weird... to understand the brutality of rugby as well, you have to understand that, I didn't know until Stephen Fry did a tour of the US. I had no idea how long a high school football match was. And he did a thing, he went, oh my God, bloody things were 4 hours long. I did 2.5, and then I just left. God almighty. There's a stoppage like every 2 seconds. And he said, oh, good God. And there's 50,000 people watching, people who are they're not professional sportsmen doing this thing. And it's just like, and it's whistle stop, for fuck's sake.
That's why, I never got into sports just because of it is too, watching it live is a little bit different than on television, because it's not quite as drawn out. It's still, a lot of them are still really drawn out, but I don't really have, I don't know that you do either though, do you? Like, do you have the sports gene? I don't really,
No,
I don't watch sports.
I don't care. No, I don't watch it, and I don't play. Weirdly, the only sport I'm good at is the thing I just dismissed, but there is a reason for that. I'm quite good with the rifle.
Right. I've heard that.
Fire for the county, but I don't. But that has never made any odds to me as to whether I think anybody should have a gun. There's a difference between firearm and being trained with a firearm and not being trained with a firearm. I used to train not young teenagers, 15-year-olds with rifle, and the amount of times we took firearms off them for an error, like a fatal error, like stupid shit, like leaning on it.
Yeah.
They put the stock on the floor and put their hand on the barrel.
Oh God.
And then it was empty. It was their magazine was empty, but they were looking the other way. And then I'd lean down, take it, and they'd go, "Oh, what?" And I go, "You're showing bang for the rest of the day. Have a great day." And just take the rifle away. Anything like that. Yeah. We just it's just the end of everything. But that's fine. That's how I see Wallies who do fire shotguns for sport at the weekend, and they don't have any marksman training at all, and they're just dickheads.
Yeah,
like swing around with a fucking shotgun, everything like that. I was on a range with my older brother once, and for a joke, he went to the toilet, and the range instructor moved me forward 10 meters, so I emptied I think it was a Smith & Wesson 38, and then went back to the line by the time he'd come out of the toilet, and then so when the targets got pulled forward, mine with grouping was like that. Anyway, they put the target back out for the second go. My brother pulled the trigger and hit the centre of the target, and then swung the gun round on everybody and went, God. "Look at that!" Just fucking hell. Just 8 people hitting the floor. Someone turns around with a fucking axe.
It was like, whoa.
Yeah. But you don't get that. That's why I don't agree with having firearms in the house, because you're just fucking stupid. You got no training.
Yeah, it's funny because like my parents, like my father's a major collector. Does like he hunts small game, like pheasant, quail, like small bird stuff, and there's a lot of like trap shooting, skeet shooting, that kind of thing. Is that
with a rifle though? It's not. It's with a shotgun, isn't
it? Shotgun, yeah.
Who the fuck wants to eat? Like, if you said, "Do you want a chicken?" and you went, "Yeah, lovely, love a bit of chicken," and they went, "Cool, there's the chicken," and you went, "What's it? Is it?" And you went, "Oh, it's got I put butter under the skin, salt, pepper. There's a little bit of sage, small lead balls. There's some saffron. What was that one? Saffron? No. Before that, little lead balls. What the fuck? No. Right.
Yeah, it's full of tiny metal
bit of
beads.
shot,
yeah.
And you go, fuck, it's horrible. Especially once you get over 25 and dental work starts becoming ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, it's
bag.
They're they used to, because we had he mostly does it just for like, you can go to ranges now and pay for like buy birds. Like you go out to a range and you can buy the birds and they'll put them out in the field, and then you take your dogs and like go flush them, and so it's kind of localized little hunt instead of being out in the wild. And so most of it now, I think it's just really more for sport rather than, because he did used to bring stuff home, like he'd bring home pheasant and stuff whenever they go out hunting, and we've had that happen before where it's like, we get beads in them.
Yeah, we live not far away from a pheasant shoot, and so Sunday morning you're out in the garden and just hear bang, it's just really very, very rich people shooting birds they don't want to eat.
Yeah, see, that's curious. Okay, so I missed there was a question from and we can talk about vaping at some point too. Somebody I think it was D-Pain was asking, what do you think the next big trending flavor in e-liquids is going to be? That we've had too many custards, desserts, and nuts.
I was one the other day that I did think is going to be... See, this doesn't really pay for me because I own an e-liquid company. So I think it's going to be a lean away from creams and stuff like that. There is in the UK, there's a sort of bubbling around of near booze, kind of, which has been tried before because we've been both in vaping. I started vaping in 2012, and there was about 2014. There was a sort of horrible shit. Like,
right.
There's people who go, it's got real rum in it. Don't put that in there. Like, twat. But recently, people have been playing around with juniper and stuff and doing G&Ts in the UK, and they're quite clever. Yogurt might make a comeback.
Yeah, I know that was kind of a big thing for a bit. It was like instead of the custard, it was did the yogurt.
Yeah,
yogurt.
Like a couple of years later, yogurt.
Yogurt.
Yeah, about 2 years later, I think it was yogurt.
No, so before we get into that, it was funny you said that about the rich people. Because my dad, I was talking to my dad the other day, and he's learned how to YouTube. He's been watching. He doesn't know. He told me the name. I'm going to have to look him up. But he said he's been watching this. It's a guy from the UK that does hunting videos, and but he said he has like a gun caddy. Like there's a guy with him. And he said the guns are like all like gold inlaid and like ridiculous.
Shotgun. Like
and
it's 20. My friend used to be a gunsmith.
Yeah,
£20,000.
But he said he has like there's a guy that stands next to him and like it's a over under.
Yeah.
And like he'll take his shots and then he'll hand the gun to the guy and the guy hands him a reloaded gun. And so then that guy's reloading the other shotgun while he's taking his shots, and then like so the guy never like stops and has to reload his own gun.
Do you have beaters? Do you know what a beater is?
What is it? What you have? Maybe.
Do you know your dogs? So you said your dad sends the dog out to flush the birds up.
Right.
So in the UK, you have, depending on the shooting ground, especially for pheasants. So for a pheasant shoot, ideally, you want to be. You need a copse of trees, some sets of woods or something on the top of a hill, and you're at the bottom, and you push the birds off the top. So they're high. So the harder they are to hit, the more popular that shoot is. It's like golf. You want a difficult course, not fucking impossible. Like people build courses where the wind's always 50 mile an hour. Well, that's great. No one's ever going to fucking play because you're a twat. You can't do anything with it.
Right.
And it's the same thing. So you always flush the birds from high. So a beater is a man. There is a group of men who walk in a line across the top to push the birds off. And so there'll be different. You'll be on one shoot, effectively. You'll be in one position, and then you move. As the beaters move across the top, they'll push them left or right, depending on where you're shooting. Where the location is, and then push them off. But they're beaters. You wouldn't send it. So we've got so many people get confused between different dogs. I don't know if you have this in the UK. In the US, there are breeds of dog which are for hunting.
Right.
But people get that knowledge is lost knowledge now.
Right.
So people say stupid shit. Like we've got a Cocker Spaniel, and people say, did you know there used to be hunting dogs? No, they didn't. There used to be beaters. They'd get the birds up in the air. My dog would run off with a bird immediately the second it got it. But a Springer Spaniel is a retriever. It would go as a gun dog. Or, there's lots of gun dogs. That's not a fucking Cocker Spaniel is no gun dog. They are thick as shit. It would just be an arsehole.
Yeah.
And ours is a half working, half show. So if she sees a pigeon sitting down, she doesn't want it. She just wants it to be in the air. So if she sees a pigeon, she goes, nope, lazy, and then just runs at it. And as soon as it takes off, she goes, that's it. In the air, mate. That's where you go.
Your dog is quite unique.
You're mad?
Yeah.
She's a fucking idiot. 10, really stupid.
Yeah, my dad has Brittany Spaniels that he uses.
Yeah.
That he had I think he had a Springer Spaniel.
It's a size thing, isn't it? The small Spaniels. I can't even say that one. What's this? Demon Slayer.
You got to learn
Demon
nerd
Slayer.
speak.
Sorry, nerd speak. In the US, we flush them from fields. Yeah, you see. At least in the pheasant hunts, I've been in fields near woods. that's the difference, because we flush them high because it's just meant to be really hard to hit them. They do flush them in fields in the UK, but that would be a less select shoot. So there's only 5 or 6 guns on a shoot.
Yeah.
And you have to pay to be there. So it might be £500 a gun to be there on the select shoot.
Right. So it is quite expensive to do that over there.
Oh fuck yeah! Like for a proper one, not for a, like you go with a mate's. If your friend has got a farm and he's got a field and you've got a shotgun license, shoot what the fuck you like.
Yeah.
But as long as you're 100 whatever yards away from the highway and you follow the law, but they're more expensive things. But lots of things have done this. See, I used to be a contracts manager, and so my surveyor might be on a shoot with the conservation officer for the area on the Sunday, and I want him to ask him whether the planning permission, the building thing that I want to do, is going to get cleared or not. And so I would ask him to do that while he was there. That's not, there's no money involved, but they're both there. So they're £400 a gun. So my surveyor was called Richard, and Richard would ask the conservation officer called Peter or whatever to whether he'd clear this thing or not on a shoot. So it's business deals or what's done at shoots, really. It's fuck all to do with the pheasants.
So is that like...
They like to make it difficult.
So over here, people would do that. They would go golfing.
They do both. Yeah, they do both. But like a gun on one of these shoots would never play golf because it's too cheap.
Interesting.
They've got a £20,000 shotgun. It's
Right.
£500 to go. They don't care about golf.
Right.
It's going to do that. Yeah, that's just proper money. These people are fucking insane money.
Yeah, that's nuts.
They're the people who don't even buy the car. They
Right.
could afford 8 Porsches, but they've got a Land Rover that's held together with rust. They're so rich, they don't care anymore. They're the best rich people, the crazy ones. They're fucking amazing.
Interesting. So, do you want to talk about vaping?
Yeah, can do.
I know you probably don't want to talk about vaping a lot.
I don't mind talking about vaping. I don't know how many people do the whole vaping thing, I suppose. Look at that. It's my friend Colin there. Snibbler64 is Colin.
Yeah, I've seen these new names pop in. I'm like, these must be people that we know somehow.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of strangers popping in.
£20,000. not in weight. It's in money. No, someone's put £20,000 shotgun. Diamond across. It's custom, but the thing is, it's a custom-made shotgun, so everything on it is absolutely chosen. The bluing, there's nothing on it. Then they take a year to make. They literally sit and fucking do these guns.
Yeah, I think my dad looked at importing. There was some type of rifle that you can't get here, and he looked at importing it, and it was like, it's ridiculous. Like you have to go through so much.
I'm trying to think. Oh well, Colin will know the answer to that as well. I'm trying to think gun makers in the UK. Brownings is British. Webley's British. I was trying to think. I don't even know any more gunsmiths in the UK.
Yeah, it was. There's so many logistics to import. If a person wanted to, and I'm guessing it's probably the same. Like,
I tried to do it the other way once for a different thing. I wanted a pre-charged air gun, and it has to go from one dealer to another dealer to a dealer courier. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it seemed ridiculous. Snibbler said he's right-handed but left-eyed. What?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, if you're short-sighted in one eye, it's no good, is it?
I've heard that. You have to figure out which is your dominant eye somehow. There's
I'm shit with it. Funny, I said I used to fire rifles, but I'm shit with a shotgun because I try and aim. You're not supposed to aim.
Right, you just got to point it in the general area.
Yeah, I kind of went out on a shoot. This was just clays, and first 5 or 6 shots didn't hit the thing. And the instructor, every time I'd break the shotgun, shells went out, cases went out, sorry, and he'd pull them out of his pocket and then reload, and then you'd go, there. And just as I did like a few shots and I locked it back, and he was like a proper like farmer kind of guy, and he went, "You've done a bit of rifle shooting before?" And I said, "Yeah, years rifle shooting." He went, "Right, you're in it fuck all today." And I went, "Cheers." And I went, "Really?" And he went, "Oh fuck, you never do shit. Have you been? How long were you shooting rifles for?" It's about 8 years. He said, "Ah, yeah, you'll be doing fuck all. Just kind of point and pull the trigger, see what happens." I went, "All right, mate." Just no idea. Absolutely shit.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not. I've shot skeet once or twice. The first, the only thing, the first pull, I hit, and that was it. First one, bam, got it, nailed. That was all I did. From then on, I missed everything else. And
just proving it with the fluke. I did like so. Colin did just put shotguns from the hip for the win.
just hold it down and just shoot. Yeah.
Fuck it.
So how is, and I hate talking about your job, so we'll make it.
You're okay.
How is vaping in the UK now? Like, it's still terrible here, as you probably have heard. They passed this thing about cigars. Just nobody cares about cigars. They're going to be fine. No PMTAs for that. But e-cigs?
Vaping in the UK is kind of where it was, really. Sort of 2 years ago, and or 3 years ago. Wow. We did it in the most bloody-minded British way possible, which is they changed the law. We all agreed, and we'd already worked out how to get around it before they'd even put the law through. Which people say that it was like a thing, like and they never knew. We knew all the time, all the way through. Everyone was trying to work out ways around it before it even hit. And we're where we were. And with COVID-19 and leaving Europe, I don't see it changing. They've got a revision coming up in November, but I don't think anything's going to change because it's too difficult to do that.
Yeah.
They're not going to be concentrating on that. We're about to go into a massive recession and everyone's pretending we're not. We're a bit too busy doing that.
Because everything seems to be working for you guys. Like, it doesn't seem, like I don't hear of any major backlash or conflict between vapors and the government, like, fighting against anything. So it seems like everything is kind of just,
it works, but you need to like it's kind of, because I do a YouTube show and the New Home show, I kind of have to keep my eye on the news anyway, so you're always reading things and double reading stuff and making sure brilliantly, somebody got an article in the US published in the Lancet last week. How do you say that in American speak? It's your fucking paper, but how do you say it?
The Lancet?
Lancet.
Lancet?
So we have the BMJ, which is the British Medical Journal, which is when somebody's written something and you try and get it. You need it peer reviewed, and so the Lancet is yours. And anyway, it's not normally bad, but this is bad. It was So it was about the autopsies of 12 people who suspected died of vaping-related lung injuries, which, as they don't exist, then they probably fucking didn't. And it was just this hashed hack job. But the problem is with this hack job, it's in there now, so they'll refer to it. And so I went through it on the show the other day. But the reason I went through it on the show was to say, I'm telling you the fucking holes because you're going to see this.
Yeah.
They're going to refer to it in a study last week, and you go, yeah, if the study's shit, who cares about in the study? So, yeah, I don't know what you're going to do, though, because for living in the land of the free, you're not very fucking free.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, because I talked to Grim Green, obviously, and and there's another guy from what is this company? He does Nickwood and
I remember. I remember Nickwood.
Like they own a handful of different lines, and like he kind of keeps us in the know because like they've been involved in some of the lawsuits that have been happening and like all the behind the scenes fighting. Like they had some people there back when Greg Conley talked to Trump back when they did that
Right.
roundtable thing. They had some people there, and yeah, he brought up that thing. I hadn't looked into it a whole lot about the cigars thing. That the cigars just got a pass apparently, and that just recently happened. And it was like, what the hell? Like what? And he's like, I don't even know anymore. Like it's, I guess one of their cases that they had just kind of got wiped away. That they were hoping for it to go to trial, I guess. And with all this that just happened, it was like, nope, don't care. So it's like, what are they? How are you saying that you're trying to be fair and use time to study these things, but you're just like, don't give a shit?
I think one of the most powerful things that Nick said the other day on a video was, if you're looking for who is for vaping, if that is how you're going to vote,
yeah,
then he said that it's bullshit.
Yeah,
because no one's for it. So don't use that.
Yeah,
don't because it's true. Whenever you talk to anybody, everybody seems to in America seems to have got every reason to vote for the Republicans or Democrats. So you kind of say, why are you doing that? Well, because the Democrats hate vaping. What the fuck? and you hear the exact opposite. The Republicans hate vaping. But as Nick correctly said, no one gives a fuck. There's one Democrat, which doesn't count.
Yeah,
it just doesn't count.
And I would think a lot of them. I mean, either way, it's going to be lip service that a lot of them will tell you that they're for it just to get you on their side and make you think that they're going to do something, and then they get elected and they're like, yeah, I forgot.
It's so stupid, remember. Though. So much money. I mean, it just seems crazy for us. It just seems madness to willfully and purposefully get lung cancer, which is what you do. What smoking causes.
Yeah.
You're fucking insane.
Yeah.
If you kind of said to somebody, yeah, got to stop running on the highway, the opposite way, the traffic, right down the middle. Why? I love it. I'm going to get it by a car. When are you going to have a go on this thing? It looks like that. No, I like running down the highway. What? It's really weird. And I'm saying that. I smoked for 20 years. If there's people watching who smoked, bully for you. Wicked. I did it for 20 years. That's probably why I've got such a beautifully baritone voice, because I smoked, and I vape very, like in people's minds, strong e-liquids. There's 50 milligrams salt nicotine.
So you're on salt now. I forgot about that.
50. Yeah. Never gone down. I don't believe in the fucking step down program.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. That was I sadly have been vaping like 6, just because I like mesh coil tanks now. But I have some 50 salts that every once in a while I'll drip a little bit in with the 6 and do a nice little giant mesh long hit with roughly 40 milligram. So
yeah,
it's lovely.
It's fucking. But if I was an alcoholic, if I said I'm, I was drinking like 6 pints a day, or no more than that, I was drinking 14 pints a day. Somebody went, yeah, that's too much, and you went, what I'm doing, I'm cutting down, so I'm going to have 28 half pints. What? That's literally what they're doing. It doesn't make any difference. People kind of go, all right, like I'll be at a meet and somebody will say, everyone goes, oh, do you not get bored vaping all day? It doesn't affect me because I don't do that. You do. You're breathing. I breathe and then I have a vape and I put it back down again. And have done for some time.
Yeah. And now you started smoking, you were young, right?
12 when I started smoking.
Yeah. And you smoked for, would you say 20 years? Or
18.
18 years.
Sorry, yeah. I smoked till I was 30.
Yeah. And now you shamelessly plug, you run a liquid website called...
Just that, Nick.
.co.uk. Yeah, there you go.
It's fine. We own the whole thing. It don't matter. It's like that. It's like everybody goes like www.wedoit. It's not fucking 1992. Just type it in.
Well, I think there's a couple of people that are near. Well, aside from the people that have came in just to hang out with us, I think there's a couple of people in that area. What is it? It's just add.
Colin's on 6 milligram. But I put the link to the Lancet thing.
Yeah.
Somebody asked for it, so I did put it on. Colin is vaping stuff. Colin's not 50. He's pretending to be 50. He started at 14, stopped at 50, and he vapes 6 milligram.
Yeah, so I liked 24. I always liked vaping 24, and then I kind of stepped down a little. And
yeah.
But it's easier. It's like 6 is easy to get. Like that's kind of the thing that sucks. Sorry, I'm watching a car that's parked in my road.
I was watching Ms. Ashley 182. I heard I assume it's fucking thing. A doctor told my aunt that the second-hand smoke from vaping is harmful. Yeah, that's the kind of thing now, isn't it? It's my friend's sister's mum's cat died because it vaped too much. So
right.
Cheers. But I said, this is a really good example of something, actually, Fitz. I was talking about this on the show the other day. I think the problem is, because I lived this, not through work and through other shit and reading studies, I now can't answer an everyman when they ask me something, because my answer is too complicated.
Oh, hold on a
by
sec.
its nature.
Keep talking. I have somebody at my door that's delivering food, and it's not my food.
Oh, okay. Right. How the fuck do I keep talking? I'm talking to myself. What was I going to say? Fuck. I can't remember what I was going to say. I was going to talk about answering questions in too in-depth a way. When somebody asks how Saltnik works, I explain it. I know exactly how it works, but it's way too fucking complicated. I should just say, it's just stronger. You don't get smoke for vaping, you get vapor. That's true. That's probably why it was in quotes, Colin. I don't know.
Sorry, someone's going to be really upset about not getting their food. Somebody was doing a little DoorDash delivery.
I didn't really know what to say. I was like, for once in my life, I ran out of words at 2:30 in the morning. Got no word.
Oh, I forgot. Somebody did ask about bad advice. They asked, what was the question? What is the worst advice that you've ever been given about anything?
About anything? So not vaping, just anything.
Just anything.
I can give bad advice all the fucking time, but normally I just swear at somebody if they give me bad advice. I had a brilliant piece of bad advice the other day from my neighbour, who's an ex-paramedic. What do you call that? A medic, probably. Do you have paramedics?
We have paramedics.
Okay, yeah, paramedic. That then.
Yeah.
So I was talking to her, and my wife is next to me, who's in healthcare. She said, the thing with this COVID, they reckon it's mutated 12 times already. And I said, what the fuck does that mean? And she went, do you not know what a mutation is? And I went, I do. But I strongly suspect you fucking don't. So let's do it. What do you mean by it's mutated 12 times? And she went, there's 12 versions of it. I said, no, the fucking isn't. I said, it really slowly mutates compared to something like flu or a cold or something. That's not what the guy at work said. She's not a paramedic anymore. And I said, the bloke you work with is a dickhead. No. What are you talking about? If a mutation in the DNA, do you know how big fucking DNA, you twat? It doesn't make any difference. That'd be like reading War and Peace, and you go, I liked it, but on the 500th page, third paragraph, second sentence, third word, I think you'll find there's 2 L's in all.
Right.
Oh, did it change it for you? Yep. No. You talk shit. It's fucking idiot. It doesn't make any difference. It's mutated 12 times. If you catch this one, you go purple. Okay, fine.
That's a good one then. Catch one to turn purple. Yeah, that's one of the things I do. I do that on Friday nights. Like, so I've done, so during the week, let me catch you up on what I, so on here, I play video games. And then on Fridays, I determined that we should just hang out and chat, because it seems like no one in the world is able to do that anymore because we can't go anywhere. We can't visit people, So I'm like, let's just have a chat night. And so I started giving out bad advice for people.
I realized mine was no advice, yeah.
Like when people were like, what, Miss Ashley had asked something like, "What's the worst way to paint my toenails?" Or like, "What's the best bad advice you could give me on waxing my armpits?" And then you try to come up with the worst possible ways to tell somebody how to do something.
Now he's just thinking. Now all I'm thinking is like how you could do it, and I thought you need a cat litter tray and 2 litres of nail polish, and just pour them in, and then lay across some chairs, 1 chair actually, and sort of seesaw in, toes extended, like
right,
that, and then dip, and then done.
Like backwards, like
back. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. You do it face down, but I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm face down, and these are my toes, and then just dip. Like that. That'd be quite good.
That seems like that would be super easy.
I don't think it'd work very well.
Right. Best advice on how to quit a job.
Best advice on how to find an electrical cable in a wall. I thought nail gun.
Nail gun's a good one, right?
Yeah. Just keep firing until you hear the
checking.
bang.
Just keep trying it.
Yeah, it's there. Could use a stud finder, but nail gun. Found it.
Best bad advice for picking up chicks. You've been out of the game for a while, though, I think, right?
Yeah, my favourite. I like bad chat-up lines, and I really like reading them. I remember one of my favourite bad chat-up lines I ever heard. Like I read it, it was like I don't know if it was bad chat-up lines or just the chat-up line. And this is bad advice if you told someone to say this. It was sidling up to a girl in the bar and just going, if you were a McDonald's meal, you would be a McBeautiful.
McBeautiful?
Yeah, and I just thought, oh my holy shit! I don't even know.
I haven't heard that one.
No, but I really liked it. Like, yeah, there's something really kind of fucked up. I just really enjoyed it. Like, if somebody said that to you, if somebody said, "Oh, I've got the chat line," they told you it. There's no way you'd tell them not to, because you'd want them to. So you want to see it happen.
Like,
so you would go, "Yeah, definitely do that."
Yeah,
definitely.
There was an old well, like it's one of his, I guess his first album. Dane Cook had made a joke about he's like, the best thing to do, or not the best thing to do.
Oh my god, I can't believe you're gonna fucking quote Dane Cook.
If you see a girl in a bar, it's like, are you gonna walk to your car by yourself later?
What? Hello, I'm a rapist. What?
I'll be over there watching you all night.
Yeah, I'm gonna be over there. Just give me a nod when you're leaving. I don't know. Do it from a distance. I don't like running. I'm not gonna fucking run. Just do it. Nod and up there.
I do like that with batteries. Yeah, if you're a U.S. president, you'd be Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
I like
that kind of shit. That's the kind of stuff I really like. I was just thinking, just as a bit of like bad advice that happened once. I don't know if you have these. You used to have scores at high school, notice boards everywhere, fucking notice boards. Sometimes if you...
Yeah, no, I don't...
We had them in the corridor. So there'd be like in the science corridor, there might be science pictures that are like a science project that somebody had done or something. Anyway, it had backing paper. This normally a pastel coloured, one shade. We did one thing pastel coloured, so it was blank, so that the next person can come along and do something.
Oh, okay.
I did something in a theatre class wrong, and I was kicked out of the class for being a twat. I can't remember what it was. I used to have brilliant discussions about stuff just to annoy the shit out of people. Like, there were girls who were pro-life once in a debate, and I just lost my mind. I remember being like 15 and thinking, you are the fucking anti-fanny of life, you are. You are the thickest little cunts in the world.
Right.
You would literally give men, just go, yes, I know it's mine, but do what we want with it. Like, it's the most stupid shit in the world to be on the wrong side of that debate. You're pro-life. You are a fucking idiot. I remember having that debate. Anyway, it was something like that, and I got kicked out. And they gave me a staple gun, a manual staple gun, that big thing with the lever on one side.
Yeah.
And they said, pull down all the paper and then staple up, pull down all the shit that's on there and staple up this while we're all enjoying theatre class. So I could paper, bang, bang, bang. And this kid walked past. I was about 15, 16, and the kid walked past. I was about 12, and he was holding a sheaf of papers, a number of papers. And he said, excuse me, can I borrow your stapler? So I'm holding a staple gun. And there's a lot of things you could say at that point, which is, this is not a stapler. I did not say that. I handed him the stapler because you just want to see what happens.
Right.
And there's just a bang and a scream, and then a kid running down the corridor with a sheaf of papers stuck to his finger.
Shit.
But I would argue that everyone would give him the staple gun.
That's true. You'd be like, it
Yep.
has staples in it. It's like I can't help.
Sure.
I can't help what he's going to do with it when you see that it's not an actual stapler.
It's got no fucking back on it. Where do you think it's going to go?
Right.
Yeah. So I just passed him the gun and then waited. Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, that is the fastest lesson you will ever learn. He must have learned that lesson he has never forgotten in under a second, which that doesn't happen.
Yeah, he's probably never...
non-lethal lesson.
He's like staple phobic now.
Yeah. Do you know what this is? I do. That is a staple gun. That is to put paper on a wall. You sure? Yep.
Like, I absolutely know about staple guns. It's fine. I don't need to be anywhere near the staple gun.
Yeah. So yeah, how to get piece of paper? That is bad advice. If you want to get piece of paper together, use a fucking staple.
Yeah. Staple a stack of paper together. It's faster. It's more efficient. It's stronger than a regular stapler, obviously. So why not use a staple gun?
Really, there's something in the UK, which is quite funny, which I don't think you do. In general stores in the UK, in the US, you know, like I don't know what we call a newsagent, but like so they sell papers and cigarettes and stuff, and like sweets, snacks. Used to be a thing where they'd have a notice board in the window.
Right.
So if you're selling something secondhand, you'd pay a fee, 50p, and you could put a card in the window for a week or 2 weeks.
Right.
It'd normally be like secondhand sofa. This is before the internet. Like secondhand sofa, 50 quid or whatever, or it might be lawnmower service. You know, someone's going to cut your lawn for tenner, or window clean or whatever. But there was every so often there were joke cards. People would go in, write something down, and pay the fee, and they put the card in, right? Only for the amusement of other people who are also pricks, right? And and they were really funny. Like,
right.
And I'd seen a number of them, and sometimes you just go, I love the fact that someone went in with that. Like, it's really funny. One of them was black and white collie dog lost.
Yeah.
Right? Blind in one eye, 3 legs, deaf, answers to the name Lucky, right? Which is like that was probably the most famous fake card. Like, piss funny. For no reason, it was really funny.
Yeah.
There was a couple antique French army rifle, Second World War rifle, never used, drop once. That was another one.
Yeah. Never fired, drop once.
Yeah. There was this really funny shit. Gas inspector needed. The gas leak inspector needed. Must be willing to travel. Equipment 1 candle. Like, it was like people would just pay 50p to stick out the window to make other people who are mental find it funny. No interest in the shit in the window, but that's funny.
That's a meme before a meme existed.
Yeah, just someone's a total twat and they go in and do that. You know, I just really enjoy anything like that. So it's really, really funny. I can't try to think of like some shit advice then. No.
We did have what was the bad advice for quitting a job?
Oh, that's quite a difficult one.
Yeah, because you always want to go with like everybody was like, oh, I'd go shit on their desk or like piss on your boss. You know, like you think dark, but it's like no, you want to do something that's just a little bit underhanded that no one's going to find out until like 6 months later they're going to be like God damn it.
Fish in the aircon or something.
Right,
like that.
right.
I've got a really weird tip if anybody's like starting a new job. This is fucked up. I did used to do this because I've had loads of jobs. I don't know, I've had like 30 jobs. I never got fired for this, by the way. Before I'll tell you the thing, I'm going to tell you. I'll give you a tip. You have however long your first shift is to do this. It's very limited. This is the thing. It works best in an industrial setting, but also works if you work in retail. Quite
Okay.
funny. During the first tour, especially if you're in an industrial setting in a factory, and also if you were, I used to work in petrol stations as well. Somebody will point out something that you definitely should never touch.
Right.
Your job is, as soon as they're out of arm's reach or sight, hit it immediately. And when whatever happened, come back, and they come back, and they say, did you just do that? Your instant answer must be, yes. Why? I told you not to touch that. Oh, don't touch it. That is always right. You get one shot to do this thing. It is funny as shit. I once put a 25-litre mayonnaise tub in a trash compactor, right? It was the funniest fucking thing I've ever done. It was outside. It was in the car park. It was a baler. And I put it in, loaded it, pushed the 2 buttons, and just watched as it exploded across the car park. And somebody ran out and went, what the fuck are you doing? And I said, bailing. It's fucking mental. And he went, don't do that. And I went, don't do that. Got it.
That is like a one-time thing. Like you've got to, because you have to do it the first day. Because
I shut down a factory. I did it with a factory. Pull the emergency cord. Like 10 minutes in, shut down a petrol station. Said, don't turn this key. And the second he walked off, just turned the key. And then he went, did you turn the key? Yeah. Why did you turn the key? What do you mean? I said, don't touch the key. Don't touch the key.
Oh
shit!
Don't
so
touch it. Got it.
They know how to reset it. It's fine, but it's funny as shit. And you've got that is your only opportunity. Is the first time anyone says don't do that, do it immediately. The trash can the baler is the funniest shit I've ever done. I remember the guy who was with me on that initiation looking at me going, what are you doing? And me going, don't worry about it. Nothing. There will be no repercussions from doing this. I promise. And we both want to see what happens.
Yeah,
So
because you do it. Like, just hearing that, I'm like, I want to see that. Like, you think of all the things, because I worked at Toys R Us for a long time, and you'd think of all the things that you could put in the trash baler, or the cardboard baler, and like, because you're like, don't put anything in here except cardboard. Like, well, I want to put like a television in it or something, like, and like, no, you can't put anything else in it. Like,
we used to, because this was a mayonnaise factory, so there was always 25-gallon drums of shit.
Right.
So it was way funnier, and it was just sat, and I was having a fag, and I just thought I'd put it in there, like, and it fit perfectly as well, because it's like 2 foot tall, foot wide, went straight in, no problem at all. I think I put some cardboard in the bottom to pretend that I cared, and then squashed it, and it just erupted, like it went right across the car park. It was fine.
Indiana Scone said, they did that with a 2-liter soda.
It's just fucking funny. Any opportunity, do that immediately. I can't even think. I've got no downside to doing that at all.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not like it doesn't break it, because you can't really break I mean, it's like it's a high-powered machine.
Yeah, oh, fuck. It's got like 20 tons of force down. No more than that. 200 tons down. I don't care. It's fine. And like the thing, I switched off the power at the petrol station, and they turn it back on. You have to reset everything. But who cares? It was funny. Like, it doesn't matter. Of things that matter, that's not one of them.
Right. In the grand scheme of things, it's not really a big deal.
Don't do it. If you work on a nuclear submarine, don't do it. Don't do the thing I just told you to do. But if you don't, do what you like. There's no real. Who cares? I've always done it.
So what about let's because I don't want to keep you forever, because I know you probably want to go to sleep.
Okay.
What about let's talk about beer, because you're a beer drinker.
I do.
What if you had to choose 1 or 2 or 3 your top beers that Americans should try if they are beer drinkers, that they should try to import?
You've got good at it, Reed. You're getting good at it, though. Sierra Nevada's one of the US beer.
Yeah.
And it's really good. Lagunitas, which is another American beer. I think it's out of Chicago. Have you seen that? IPA.
It could be.
Black,
we'll say yes.
Black on white. Black right on a white label. Lagunitas.
Yeah.
It's a really good beer. you have some of the worst beer on the planet as well. Like Bud is just piss. I have no idea why anyone drinks that. Apart from like as a joke, I don't even know why the fuck anyone drinks. IPAs is, I think it's, I don't want to be one of those boring people. And I don't care.
Yeah.
The other thing I do is I don't care what you do.
Right.
You know, like in life, I don't care. If I'm doing, I'll do it for comic effect. So people often don't understand that I do a lot of stuff on social media, but when I'm antagonizing somebody,
right,
I don't really care. I was just in character. It's a joke. I couldn't actually live like that. So if somebody says, I'm eating this for dinner, and I go, shoot yourself, that's fucking disgusting.
Right.
A couple of times people have taken it seriously, and someone sent me a message, if you ever in my fucking town, I'll do you. Oh, fuck me, mate. If you've seen social media, it's just pissing with you. I really am. Doesn't matter. And for the same with beer. There's things that they're in the UK now. Sour beer is becoming a thing.
Interesting.
Sours.
Okay.
So like a gooseberry sour. So it's like a beer with a hint of gooseberry, and it's sour. It's really nice.
Or for Americans,
Especially
that's gooseberries, I think, right?
Yes. Little green bastards with spikes on them, like little hairy green bastards. They're quite, yeah, so sours, IPAs, they're kind of what I like. I don't really like the dark beers, or like the Belgian beers and stuff.
I know,
But
yeah,
it's
'cause I
great
know you
for
drink a
drinking,
lot
yeah.
of different beer. Always, all the pictures of all this. Like, I'm not really a beer drinker. Like, I just tend to drink vodka instead. But I see you drink a lot of beer, and I know there are people that enjoy beer that may be
We have,
like,
we have loads of microbreweries now. It's like Nick got into it a few years ago. There's so many now that you can kind of support small businesses by buying beer, which is great because I like small businesses and I like beer, so it's fine. And I like whiskey. I do like Scotch, but I don't buy it because it's a bad idea.
right.
Okay. Scotch. The first time, like, not whiskey, not bourbon, not piss horrible, not JD and stuff and fucking horrible whiskey, but Scotch is the first time you have like a good Scotch and you think, no, I'm going to die. Okay. It's a good way to go. I can totally understand how people become alcoholics. Like if you've got a litre of that, just do that in a night. Sit there and just put the world to rights. Like I could sit with a friend and have a bottle of Scotch between us.
Yeah.
And go to bed at 3 a.m. Fucking whatever, mate. I don't care. And you pour thicker fingers every time because you think, I don't want to get up twice. Like,
right.
You pour yourself a glass.
I'll have pour twice
one.
as much, and it's fun. And then you just drink it faster, and
Yeah.
I just found like my most difficult drinking experience in the UK was simply the volume of liquid that I was trying to consume, because I tried to drink a lot of beer because everybody just drank beer, and so I'm like, yeah, we'll have and then it's like they bring out this giant, massive cup. Instead of like a nice little 8-ounce glass, it's like this giant thing because it's a pint. Yeah. And so then I'm like, how do I get all of this volume of liquid into my body without just wanting to blow up? Because I would hit about 3 and I'd be like, I can't do it anymore. Like that's all I can fit in my body.
So, I can't know we get it. Speak Jarvis 180. But how about cider? We have some amazing Honey Crisp cider at Chaplin Orchard that I wait for every year. Hard cider, I meant we don't call what you call, like, we only have cider. So without alcohol, we just call that apple juice. Don't matter what you do with it, we don't care. Like, it doesn't count. There's no such thing. It's not cider. No, we don't do that. And I kind of live in one of the apple places in the UK. So, and our cider in the UK is a lot drier than yours. So it's a bit more adult. It's not as sweet.
Right. It is. It's really, and it was really good. Like, because I had some when I was over there, and I can't really find anything like it here.
It's really crisp. We don't really do the thing. We do have some now Scandinavian ones and stuff, and they're a bit more fruity. To be fair, my wife drinks those, and they've got like a touch of raspberry or a touch of straw. I don't know how the fuck you can tell any different because they're so sweet. I have no shitting idea what's in there.
Yeah.
I know, she can keep them. I don't want them. But we don't do non-alcoholic cider. No, it's just apple juice or it's not. That's the anyway. If you can't get pissed, it doesn't count. And the funny thing, because my favourite thing, two good things when people from the US come over here, which I love to hear when I listen to a podcast, which I can't remember who said it. I was listening to a podcast once, and they were talking about alcohol, and he said, when you first came into the UK, what did you think of the drinking culture? And he said, you guys drink like you want to hurt yourselves. Right? And I thought, he has nailed it.
Yeah.
That is how we drink. Like, it is insanity. The Scottish and the British, I don't think they're surpassed anywhere in the world. Like, nobody drinks like we do.
Yeah.
Like, if the French say, we drink from the age of 10, we have a little bit of, we're not knocking it back down a bus shelter, like by a bottle load
Right.
at 11. It doesn't count. Whatever, mate. I'd do that. Vodka, done. Just not bothered at all. And the other joke, and bacon is the other thing.
Yeah.
When you come over, when Americans come over and try bacon, it's not the same.
It's definitely, I've tried to, it's really difficult to try to explain that too, because I'm like, we have bacon, but your bacon is not the same bacon. And like, it's like I remember at the event in Shrewsbury, like I got like a bacon sandwich, like a breakfast deal, and it was cold. And so I'm like, this is really like, why is it cold? Like, because like you get bacon that has to be like hot and fresh. And then, but I'm like, it tastes just like bacon, but it's cold, and like, it tastes just like, it was like meat. It's the weirdest thing because it doesn't make sense to me, but I'm like, this tastes like bacon.
I don't know why it was cold. Where the fuck did you get that?
It was one of the stands somewhere. Like,
Fuck, no one eats in there. No one eats in Vatefest. Everyone's so pissed. I don't know who fucking did eat.
But it was good. It was almost like lunch meat is what it reminded me of, like a sandwich with lunch meat, but the meat tasted like bacon, but it was bacon, but it wasn't bacon. It's one of those, I don't think there's really, it's a je ne sais quoi thing that you have to go try.
Because it's cure. The other thing is we cure it differently. So if you have Wiltshire bacon here, that cure, it's a liquid cure. It's not dry.
Yeah.
The cure for Wiltshire has been in existence for 300 years or something.
Yeah.
And it's the same cure. It's a big bucket of. It's probably the cure for cancer and AIDS in there somewhere. And they throw the bacon in. And the more older it gets, the more it improves. It's basically like brine, but it's not. It's black. It's absolutely fucking black. And the other thing, because we have back bacon and we have streaky bacon, which is really have streaky bacon, and cook it. And it's too thin.
Right.
My upset was because I went to New York, and as an English child, you get obsessed with the US. And I went there, and I thought, first morning we woke up and we went to an American diner. I'm going to a diner. Amazing. Brilliant. And we sat down, and the waitress came over and she said, what do you want to drink? And Shelley had a tea. You don't know what tea is, but it's nice. And gave Shelley a Lipton tea, and she already pulled an eyebrow up. Fucking Lipton. And but she said, she poured me a coffee, and I have black coffee. She poured me a coffee, and she said, "Oh, by the way, that's an endless cup of coffee. I'll be round in a minute, fill it up fine." And we ordered pancakes, sausage, bacon, egg, whatever. Came out. But instantly, I could see that the pancake was a mix, like not a pancake. Just bullshit. I was like, okay. And then we got the maple syrup has had its name changed. Is it Aunt Jemima or something?
Yeah, I think they changed that one, or they're trying to change that one or something. There's
what it's called?
Yeah, there's Aunt Jemima's.
Anyway, shit. Like nobody in the UK. Oh, fuck that. That's shite. Nobody touched that. Like we buy like Canadian maple syrup. Just buy that. Like it is maple syrup. It's just shit. Fructose crap in a bottle. Let's put that down. Fucking hell. Anyway, and I was like, oh, this is going to be shit. And the sausage was off the planet, disgusting. And I took a sip of coffee. Like it was burnt beyond parallel. It was fucking awful. When every time she did a lap to the the place. I had to drink a little bit of it to swallow the breakfast.
Right.
So every time she came past, I had to shoot my hand out across the top of my cup. No. Before it became a challenge. Don't put it in there. And when you've tried that, that's how you understand how Starbucks became a thing. You know, people go, "Oh my God, have you been to Starbucks?" Yeah, it's relative, mate.
Right.
What's it relative to? It's relative to the other shit you've got.
Right.
It doesn't count. That doesn't count. It's like if you're eating out of a bin every day and someone said, "Oh, have you tried this new place called McDonald's? It's a lot better than a bin." Okay. It is better than a bin.
It's way better than eating garbage.
Yeah, fucking hell. It's the weirdest thing. Like that jug thing on top of a hot plate that just cooks the shit out of the coffee for hours.
Yeah.
Fuck, everyone wants that.
Is it pancetta? Demon Slayer was asking if UK bacon is like, is it pancetta? Pancetta?
That's Italian, and it's like they're cubes. But it's cured in a similar way, but thinner cut than that. And you can get it thicker, because if you're in the bacon, if you're at the butcher's, you can ask for it to be cut thicker or thinner. They've got a bacon slice.
A bacon, so you can make giant thick bacon or tiny thin bacon.
Yeah, if they wanted to. Yeah. If you've got a decent butcher, they'll just run it through.
Yeah. So one famous question, because I know you love food. Because it's also late. What did you have for dinner?
There was the one day a week my wife cooked today. Which
Okay.
is very rare. So we had sausage leek and pasta bake, which is like pasta with. Do you know what a roux is?
I'm familiar with the word.
So it's a white sauce. So flour, butter, and you add hot milk until it becomes like a thick white sauce. And you throw a load of cheddar cheese in it. So it was a thick cheddar cheese sauce with pasta, some sautéed leeks, and some sausages.
Nice.
That have been chopped into little bits. And then it goes in the oven for like 20 minutes. So it's baked and crispy on top. That's what we had. My wife's been off all week. But weirdly, she's been off all week, but I'm still cooking every fucking day. But she doesn't like cooking. It's fine. It's one of those things. She's had no role model as a child because her mother's terrible at cooking.
Yeah.
Absolutely shit.
I ate 40-cent ramen noodles that I microwaved. So that's my life.
I don't understand. It's a really weird thing. That's become quite a big thing in the US, like ramen noodles. Like, I don't get it at all.
It's like, I mean, it's college food because you can buy you get 6 of them for like $1 or 50 cents or something. You can buy like 12 for, I think it's like 12 or like $1.
It's the thing. The people do it in the UK all the fuck. There's not, no, like, my old assistant, that was like, she lived on that.
Yeah.
Like the ramen noodles. I can't, the consistency. I remember when I first moved out of home when I was a kid, I'd buy these noodles. And I cannot face the consistency. So just don't do it.
Yeah,
I cook every day. It's so different as well. I never have a go at anybody. You know, when it comes to cooking for yourself, it becomes a monotonous chore after a while. You get those people who are lunatics and say, like, "Oh, I cook 8 meals at once, then I freeze them." Oh, fuck off, Julie.
Right.
Do whatever, mate.
I'm mostly it's single cup servings. I'm the Tyler Durden of like breakfast, lunch, and dinner now. That it's single serving. I put water in it. I put it in the microwave and I eat it.
Yeah, but do you get any like fruit and vegetables?
No.
You need to fucking do that.
I have a terrible diet.
Rickets. Yeah, you can't do that.
My doctor thinks I have rickets, actually.
So you need vitamin D.
Yeah.
But you've got scurvy as well.
I haven't got scurvy yet.
Fucking hell. Why don't you just eat something for lunch? I don't understand. Is there like a takeaway place near your work?
I could. It's mostly like, it's because I don't really eat a lot. It's like I eat, and it's definitely not healthy, but it's like rice-a-roni. Like I eat rice-a-roni. Do you have rice-a-roni? Like it's like what Richard does. Like it's like a cup of rice with like, it's like seasoned rice. So like that,
yeah,
and like
doing that.
Macaroni and cheese.
But that again is a character joke thing. Like
right.
We're talking like social media. Like it's fine. I'm not bursting a bubble. He gets that. So you're like, I realised a while ago that when we used to do this thing on the show where people would say, "What did you have for lunch?" Right.
Right.
Well, if I was in the shop, this bit in my head, so it wasn't a lie, I would buy the stupidest shit.
Right.
Like a dairy milk and a microwave burger. Like I wouldn't normally eat that.
Right.
But just so somebody go, "What did you have for lunch?" And I go, "Guess." I don't know. Like, you're never going to guess I had a dairy milk and a microwave burger. So just did that. But then there's a moment of clarity when you're in the queue, like chuckling to yourself over nonsense. Like 700 people are going to watch you go, "I had a burger and a dairy milk."
Right.
Just to annoy the shit out of people.
Yeah, it's my eating is pretty terrible for the most part.
I read a thing the other day. I don't know if you've got. I have this thing. So a psychologist friend of mine once said, we were chatting, and he said he said, I said, a lot of people think I've got ADHD, and he went, "You have." But anyway, and then he said, "I'm actually doing a study at the moment on whether people you've got." And he said, "I just want to check." He said, "You're not." He said, "I don't think you're a psychopath, but could you run through these tests?" He did do a test for him, and I said, "Yeah, fine." So I did this test, and he said, "Well, you're not a psychopath." And I said, "Oh, I didn't think it was." And he said, "No." He said, "You're like a gnat's dick away from, like, that thin Rizzler paper away from being a sociopath, but you're not. You're a fully functional sociopath with ADHD." Oh, nice. And I found out that gives me something called hyperfocus. I hadn't heard of the term until the other day.
Hyper-focused. Interesting.
It makes you a dickhead about things that don't make any, like, I can be completely obsessive about something.
Yeah.
Like I need it. Like there'll be I have, so yeah, just things that just make me hyper-focused. So my watch was a hyper-focus thing. That is from a film called Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got the same watch, the Timex Iron Man. But it took me 2 years to get it because I'm a psychopath. Well, I'm not. It's okay, I'm a sociopath. But I really wanted this watch. They don't make it anymore. So I had to go track it down, and I got the watch. I did the same with an Amiga Constellation. That's another watch I've got. But, just obsessive, no reason. And as soon as I've got it, it's gone. Like, I don't care. Right. I go, "Oh, I really need it. Give it. And I get it, and I go, "Yes, finished." Like, just a fucking idiot. And that's meant to be, that's a trait of ADHD, which I've never heard of. Another trait of ADHD I heard of the other day, which is people with ADHD have a trait where if something's not in their vision, not within their eyesight, they forget it. Like,
right.
As soon as it's outside of their field of vision, it's gone. And I get in trouble for this all the time. So we'll make something the night before, and there'll be some left over. My wife will say, "Oh, have that for lunch." And I'll go, "Oh, yeah, it'd be really nice." The next day she'll say, "Oh," she'll go, "Oh, you haven't got a plate. What'd you have for lunch?" And I'll go, "Half a Fruisley bar and a packet of peanuts." "Why'd you have that?" "I just fancied it."
Right.
"What about half lasagna that's in the fridge?"
Oh, yeah.
Like, just 'cause it wasn't there. Like, she needs to stick it on the wall or it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, nope. Don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that too. Like it's not that it's not a matter of it being important or not important. It's just out of.
Colin's saying I do that, which I assume is the hyperfocus. Yeah.
Yeah. Or we call it the CRS. They can't remember shit.
Jarvis 180. People should armchair diagnose. I didn't. That was my friend who's a psychologist. Told me that. It wasn't armchair focus. It wasn't armchair diagnosis, but they shouldn't. No, that was a psychologist, a friend of mine.
So you're a hair away from being a sociopath. How does?
Yeah, but not like it didn't. That's not the same thing. Being a hair away from being a sociopath and being a sociopath are a mile. You know, it's
right.
not anything like that at all because they're just not. You know?
Right. I would never think of you as having any kind of sociopathic tendencies anyway. Like, you seem...
Oh, I don't care. Like, I do terrible things in public. I literally will say, "Fuck off, cunt," to anyone.
Right.
There's no limit to it. And sometimes the fact that there might be a limit to it makes me want to do it more.
Right. I think it's maybe that. It's maybe that you're aware of it. I think it's maybe that's the difference.
Yeah. I find it even more fun.
Yeah. Because I
like
get
an
that way
old lady. If someone's really rude, I don't care. Like, I've just gone.
Right.
So if they were a 90-year-old lady said something to me, I was stood in a queue a while back, and the lady said, old lady said, "Oh, are you not going to let me go in front of you?" And I said, "Sorry?" She said, "You're not going to let me go in front of you?" And I said, "What?" Like, I didn't understand why she was talking to me. I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "I've just had an operation on my knee." And I said, "I couldn't give a shit. Why are you telling me that?" And she said, "What?" And I said, "Why are you telling me about your knee? I don't care about your knee." It's a weird thing to say to somebody. Why don't you just say, "I've only got this," and then, "Oh, is there any chance? Please, could I go in front of you?" Don't kick off with, "Why didn't you let me go forward?" I don't care about your knee.
Right.
She said, "Have you got no respect?" I said, "What, have a twat so you can't tell me about the knee?" No. And then she looked, her husband was about 3-4 feet away. He was the same age, and he looked at her, and she looked at him as if to say, "Get involved."
Right.
So she looked at him, and I said, "Do yourself a favour, mate. Stay where you are." Like, ridiculous. What are you going to do? And then she carried on whining, and I said, "Listen, we'll do a deal, a brilliant deal." And she said, "Okay." I said, "Don't say another word to me. I don't want to hear your voice again. I'm going to ask you a question. Nod or shake your head, and it will happen. Would you like to go, remembering not to speak? If you speak, the deal's off. Do you want to go in front of me?" And then I moved out of the way. I don't care about your fucking knee, you silly old bat. Fuck off, you haven't got a job. Come back later, you stupid old twat. Yeah, just funny.
I've missed these conversations so much.
Yeah, I am. I think that's why people say I'm a sociopath. They say awful things to me, and I don't care. And honestly, only funnier. Fine. I once called a checkout girl a cunt. Once. My dad was next to me. I can't even remember what it was about.
See, that it's funny like that. I think somebody, T.S. Carcass is mentioning that, like how that's a very taboo thing to say. Like that's like gasping to say that. But
it is here. That's a lie. There's a thing which is Australians say it way more than we do. There's a joke that you don't. If you do come here, don't use it. It is
right.
The word that will take people's breath away. It will. My dad doesn't care if I say fuck or shit or anything. The word cunt will stop him in his tracks, like immediately. My wife will not. If I said that, if I said "don't act like a cunt," I would probably be sleeping in here.
Right.
But it was funny because I can't remember what the checkout lady did. I can't remember what she'd done, but she was incredibly. It was incredibly stupid and it was incredibly annoying. and I said, "Have you got to be such a cunt?" And then my dad went into shock and he said, "What'd you say that for?" And I said, "What?" And this was not that long. It was like 5 years ago. I said, "What?" And he said, "You can't call her that." And I said, "If she didn't act like a fucking cunt, I wouldn't have called her a cunt. But she did act like a cunt, so I did call her a cunt. Now I've called her a cunt 6 times. Right. She only had 1 before. The other 5 were you."
Right.
And then he did keep speaking. I can't what she'd done. It was very irritating and rude and really fucking annoying.
It had to have been terrible, obviously.
It was. Whatever it was, it was.
It was probably
way
the worst. It had to be. I mean, because obviously to remember it this far ahead, yeah.
Oh, I think it was more my dad's expression because
Right.
we left and he looked like somebody had killed his child he didn't know about. We were walking down the road and he was kind of still shaking his head, still in a shock, probably expecting the police to turn up. Oh my god!
It's like,
and they probably could have.
Yeah.
It's a public order offence to say that word, by the way.
Is it
So
really?
you can get, yeah. If you said fuck and cunt are both public order offences in the right context.
Wow.
Shit, you'd be alright with this shit, but not very loud. If you said either fuck or cunt loud in the street, yeah, you could be a public order offence if you carried on doing it.
Like if I walked out into a street and yelled it, you could get in trouble.
If you yelled, you fucking cunt, and then the police turned up and you were still doing it, you would get public order offence.
Interesting.
have this really weird thing in the US that you don't have hate speech. There's no hate speech law, is there? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because like you will see everybody will become an expert on Facebook or Twitter about our freedom of
That's
speech.
not free speech.
But yeah, it's like it's one of those things. It's like you're allowed to say, for the most part, like you can kind of say whatever you want, but it doesn't mean that no one's going to call you out on it. It's like, well, I can say this. Like, I have the freedom. You're like, no, you're still an asshole. Like, I can still call you an asshole for it.
When I watch those preachers who go to like universities and stuff like that in the US, who just do the soapbox and they stand there and they do the thing, you wouldn't make it out the gate.
Right.
If you did a thing like that, if you were talking about abortion and calling people out in that close proximity, we do get street preachers sometimes. You would get in trouble, and again, you do fall under you're not free of consequences.
Right.
I'll wrap this right. This will be the stupid story, and then I'll be my bit, I think. So I was walking through the town centre. You've been there, Felixstowe, where I used to live.
Yeah.
And it was near Easter, and I was standing outside the supermarket, and 4 men walked past with a crucifix over their shoulders. It
Right.
wasn't full size, but it was big, 7 foot long crucifix. They'd all got a lapel mic. No, not lapel mic, headset with a thing. And I think they were born again Christians, evangelists, and they were saying, the Lord is the truth, the light, he's blah, 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 and going at in people's faces, but they were mic'd up and they'd got a little PA system, portable PA system. Jesus is the way, the light, he is the truth. Shopping and consumerism is ruining this, and walking along and quite confusing. British people find that quite odd.
Right. And
then out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a colleague of mine who was walking towards me, and it was his birthday. I'd seen him that morning and said happy birthday. And he worked at the vape shop that was part of the company I worked for, and he worked at the end. He was walking towards me just as one of the guys with the crucifix was in front of me. The friend of mine was called Joe. I said it was his birthday. Joe was perhaps 4 meters away, not really looking, when I grabbed this street preacher with my arm around his shoulder, turned him to face Joe. Joe came here, and I went, happy birthday! Pointed at the street preacher, and Joe went, what? And I went, I've got you a stripper. He's got nipple tassels under here, and pointed at his chest. He was quite expensive, but it's worth it because it's your birthday. And now I've got this man who's a bit smaller than me, shitting himself. Like he kind of thought he'd got a day when he was going to shout bullshit at people. And suddenly he's been grabbed by a man, told he's a stripper, and presented as a gift to somebody else. And Joe was going, like completely confused because he's a bit of a stoner, going, what? What are you talking about? There you go. Oh, well, I don't know what you want to do with him. Shall I put him in the shop? And he went, what? And I went, anyway, he's yours. Happy birthday. Show him the nipples. And I let go of this poor fucker, and he kind of twaddled off and carried on. And Joe went, what was that? And I went, he's a prick. Who cares?
Yeah.
I just thought, if you're allowed to do that, I'm allowed to do this. So you're mine.
Yeah, there was a street preacher, whenever I was in Amsterdam, in one of the little city squares, I guess, where people were like street performers, and there was a guy, with like his hanging signs and everything, and the police came and got rid of him. Which it was interesting because it's like you could do that here, like you were saying, you could get on a street corner and stand there and preach and yell and whatever you want to do, but it was for whatever reason.
You can do that. There are limits. If it's hate speech, you can't do it. So if you so the things you've had, there are the things that have been said by the far right in the US would not happen. That would be hate speech. If you incite violence,
right,
you can be arrested for inciting violence. By saying it would count as an act of inciting violence, and you would be arrested. if you said, I think all of a certain type of people should be, you would be inciting violence.
Interesting.
And you would be arrested. And that's just a law that makes sense.
Right.
You know, that's not the idea that that's oppression is so fucking stupid. It's like these dickheads saying it's oppression to wear a mask. What?
Right.
You're a twat. It doesn't make any sense.
Like they're worse. Yeah, I mean, it's like because I know there's a lot of sides to that, obviously, and people have differing opinions, and I'm like I allow them.
It doesn't matter.
But it's like that's the least you can do. It's like that's what I don't get. It's like if that's the least that you have to do, it's not. You don't have to wear a hazmat suit. You don't have to wear chainmail. You don't have to wear like 100-pound bag of rocks on your body. Like it just it's one of those things. Like whether or not we like, is it a nuisance? Like maybe sometimes it's like, man, this sucks that we have to do this all the time. Like it's weird because it's a new thing now. But it's like, thing
of saying, I like the people who go, right, that doesn't work. So shut the fuck up. Right. Who cares?
Yeah.
I didn't ask you, dickhead.
Right.
Just do it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I can't. If that's the same as me, if I walked up to every Christian wearing a cross and went, that doesn't work. Like, what the fuck? For what? They're not going to go, good point, and throw it. Right. Oh, like, fuck that then.
You're right.
Have you got a Bible? Yeah, that don't work. Oh, do not? No. Load of shit. It's been edited so many times, load of shit anyway. But, yeah.
That is a very good point. Do you want to go to bed? I know it's like...
Yeah, I'm going to go to bed. It's 3:20 in the morning.
Yeah, I didn't mean to keep you too
I kind of forgot.
Long.
I enjoyed myself, and I just keep talking.
Yeah. No, I knew it was going to be late. I appreciate you coming on. It's good to chat. We'll have to catch up for real one of these days.
So you have to come back, man.
If they ever let me. If they... You
can sleep in this cabin.
Can I get a boat, maybe? Do you think I could sneak over in a boat instead of an airplane?
Yeah, get a QE2 or something like that.
Just get a raft. I'll be there in a few months, maybe, or a plane. It's on my list. Like,
I'm Ms. Ashley 182. Thanks.
That's another reason I want to get you on, because we always have great banter and we know each other, and we can have great chats.
We've always got differences of opinions on stuff as well, but it's fine. But I think they're as I said, I've lost quite a lot of American friends of late because of varying things, which are not. It's not about that my opinion's different to yours. It's, you've got to listen. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's I mean that's like it. That's what it really boils down to. Is like I have plenty of people that we have differing opinions, but it's like I will accept your opinion and you have to accept mine, and then we just I don't really like the we'll agree to disagree, but it's like as long as you respect that I have an opinion and you have an opinion, then there we go.
Yeah.
Then that's what it boils down to.
And I saw somebody. I saw somebody put it into a very good context the other day, which is it doesn't count if it's a fundamental problem with what somebody said. Like one of the big things at the moment is obviously Black Lives Matter, which has become like a ludicrous thing to argue against, really, in the UK. I heard a great quote from a British black lady today. It was an interview, and they were talking about extreme sports, and they said, and the interviewer, who's a white man, said, "Are you into any sort of extreme sports?" And she said, "Have you never noticed black people in the UK?" She said, I'm talking now for black people of the UK.
Right.
We don't want to do any of that shit because just walking about is enough of an extreme sport.
Right.
There's no black people jumping off things. There's no black people jumping out of planes. No bungee jumping. No jumping off buildings. None of that shit. Because going to the shop is enough of an experience. And I was like, she's fucking right. I have never, ever seen a black person base jump. Ever. Never seen it.
It's a very good point. It's very true.
They just go, no. It made perfect sense. Yeah. And that's a fundamental problem. If somebody's racist or somebody's homophobic, I don't know, guy, that's not a difference of opinion. You're a fuckhead.
Right.
I have no interest in talking to you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a good note to end on. Thank you so much for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. We'll get I'll get this edited and we'll get this on YouTube eventually, so we can share it with everybody in the world.
Do I stay here until you go?
You can. I will say goodbye, and then I can just click you out, and then so. Thank you, everybody. Say goodnight to John. Thank you,
chat, for being here.
Thanks for being. Thanks for coming on and hanging out and chatting. And like I said, I think it's fun, especially to get a differing opinion, just to have conversations. This is to bring people together. This is my philanthropic thing that I'm going to try to start doing, is just having conversations with people, just to share opinions and differing, Weltanschauungs. Like, everybody share your Weltanschauung, and we learn from that. But plus, I get to hang out with people that I like. So,
see you later, Flitzy.
All right, thank you for being here. Have a great night. I'll catch you soon.
See you later. Go
to bed. Let's go back to this. There we go. Thanks, buddy. That was John, ladies and gentlemen. Ark Loving Mama, you just got here. You missed it. You missed the whole thing. So I hope you enjoyed our conversations with John. Actually, John is great. John's like, I often feel that we're kind of like US and UK versions of each other to a certain degree. That if I had a chance to be British, that I would be him. And he would, maybe he would be, I don't know. Maybe not with the hair.